Namaste, my friend. To do any practice, we have to do the practice with a higher awareness and alertness. So that is why we have been practicing the stage one of this meditation, where we passively raise our awareness. How? Close your eyes. You are comfortable, make your body comfortable and at ease with eyes closed. Even you need not to close your eyes, but in the beginning we are doing it until you reach to a stage where you can rise in awareness with eyes open. No object perceived can disturb you. So in the stage one, we increase our awareness by looking within. We get a sense of detachment from the thoughts. There is a new level of awareness which is responsible for changing the behavior and attitude, my friend. So being comfortable, and we have been doing being comfortable, feeling the sensation and comfort and steadiness. Just check it. Is your mind ready to rise in awareness by being aware of the neck joint? So aware of the neck joint, or I can say move the mind on the neck joint, be there, feel the sensation, comfort and steadiness. Move the mind on the shoulder joints, be there, feel the sensation, comfort and steadiness. And look inside, be aware of the space within. So looking into the space is a contrast to looking at the world outside with millions of objects perceived by our senses. So be aware of the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Feel the sensation, comfort and steadiness. Looking inside, being aware of the space within, or emptiness within, or darkness within. Just stay there and see what prevents you not to be into that state. See what prevents, and you will realize what prevents you not to be in that state. And you will realize, what you will realize? It is the mind jumps onto the body and complains. Mind jumps onto the body and complains. It jumps onto the past, So we are not at all concerned about any wherever the mind goes. Let it go, but you are separate from it. And that is what is being carefree. Thoughts are coming. That is what we discussed. Thoughts are coming and going, and these thoughts have a feeling associated with the feeling, emotions of the past, memories, biological drives, etc., etc. So you are looking at these thoughts Looking means I look at the traffic. I looking at the traffic means I am separate from the traffic. So when looking at the thought means I am looking, these thoughts are separate from me. You're just aware. In the field of awareness, you're separate from these thoughts, feeling, sensation, whatever comes to the mind. It is like a guard in the gated community who is just looking at the people in the car, they come and they go. He's just aware. Even if he's busy in doing something, but still he's aware. It's a gated community. So you have introduced a gated community in the mind. Means that mind is just sitting, relaxed, calm, aware, watching the thoughts like the car coming and going, being comfortable and carefree. The stage one, as I have been telling you, the stage one is a passive steps, and it can be done at any time, anywhere, whether you are talking to someone, you are in the kitchen, or you are driving, just you are aware these thoughts are separate from you. When these thoughts are separate from you, you have a feeling also. You rise in awareness and you feel the body is also separate from you. Being comfortable and carefree. It helps us to live in higher awareness that brings the change in our attitude and behavior. So remember, we change in the attitude and the behavior in the higher awareness. What does it mean? The mind is not living habitually, animally, instinctively, not get carried away by the thoughts, feeling, reaction, hesitation, duality, and a conflict. So the stage one is over. Now we will go to the stage one. We will never leave the purification of the mind and also a normal focus of the mind. I will explain you in detail as we progress that what exactly is the focus of the mind. The focus of the mind in Eastern wisdom is just living in a higher awareness. When you are highly aware and alert, nothing like the attachment and the duality causes any trouble. Oh, that is the focus, yes. It is different from the modern psychology where we say, oh, you fix your mind on that object. No. So in the stage two, we'll continue with the purification. You're looking inside the forehead in the space. You see? In the space or in the darkness, and start breathing quick and short breath through both the nostrils into the rib cage. Just gentle breath. You keep looking inside the forehead in the space as if in the space you are breathing. You recognize the changes in the sensation. You are aware and also recognize if there is any resistance by the mind. What to do with the resistance? You endure that resistance and continue the journey, continue the practice. Your mind is absorbed into the inner space or the darkness, and at the same time you are breathing. You also recognize the changes in the sensation. If there is any resistance, it is only for the seeker, and you are a seeker. Disclaimer to the non-seekers. And stop this breathing, do nothing. Find out, you look at the head and the neck. Your looking means you are aware of the head and the neck, the skin of the head and the neck. Or I can say you move the mind on the skin of the head and the neck and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind goes to the right arm, so your mind moves on the skin of the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. Pay attention what I'm saying. You move the mind on the body. You don't move the body. So when you move the body, it means you are not living into that higher awareness, and that is not going to change your attitude and behavior. So we are looking very subtler aspects of the journey. Move the mind on the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips on the skin, and feel and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the rib cage and be there, experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the belly, be there, feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the right leg. You have already understood. It is moving the mind on the skin of the right leg. Why we are doing this? First, experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Why we are doing it? To raise our awareness. Maybe we can experience the sensation and stillness. It resolves the resistance of the mind moving outside, and there we rise in awareness. But why it is important to rise in awareness? To bring about the change in behavior and attitude. But why to change our behavior and attitude? To discover our higher consciousness and ultimately the real self. Without raising your awareness, no, nothing will happen. Move the mind on the left leg. Be there, feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. The mind on the entire body, from the top of the head to the toes. Sensation, relaxation and stillness. Experience the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Now experience you are comfortable, you are carefree. You continue to experience the sensation, relaxation and stillness. In that state, we will use the mantra to focus our mind. So now understand the focus of the mind in Eastern wisdom is rise in awareness. A sense of freedom is there, where the mind is naturally moving into the peace and the calmness. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. So you are repeating in your mind 3 times. We don't do it habitually. How to break that habit? We want to know the meaning of the mantra. So the meaning of the mantra is a conscious approach. The meaning of the mantra is let everyone be happy. We don't stop there. We want to raise our awareness. We want to go into the knowledge in this line. May there be happiness for all. Why we say that? We are saying that because happiness is our essential nature. Is our essential nature means those who are not practicing meditation, even they are happy. They have a essential nature is happiness, and those who are practicing, happiness is their essential nature. But then, what is the difference? Only difference that the non-seekers do not know that happiness is their essential nature. That is why they are running. Their mind is running outside in lot of desires, projecting happiness outside. And you are a seeker. So you know the happiness is within you. Can you remind yourself whenever you are surrounded by anxiety, duality, conflict? That is the importance of the mantra. So once you know the entire meaning of the mantra and the knowledge is hidden into it, the mind remains calm. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. It is the same meaning. And now go to the knowledge. Peace is our essential nature. Oh, it is within me. You are a seeker. That's why you know peace is within you. What about my anger and anxiety and mood swing? That is where you lose your awareness. No, question is that when I am into anxiety, what should I do? Do nothing. Just become aware that anxiety does not belong to you. The way the thought does not belong to you when you are carefree. Are you getting it? But if you try to think it over, brood over the anxiety or the mood swing or the reaction, you will continue to live into that state, my friend. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. So consciously contemplating means, what is the meaning? Oh, let there be a completeness in all, the wholeness in all. And then we go to the now. Everyone is a whole. At the level of the real self, everyone is fragmented at the level of body, mind, intellect, desires, craving, obsession. Do you see that? Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam. May there be auspiciousness for all. I can reframe this meaning. It means, let there be a blessing and the grace fall upon each and every living being on this earth. What it means, your mind becomes very humble, sweet, compassionate. But why we need that? To rise in awareness. In a higher awareness, compassion is natural, kindness is natural, blessing is natural. In a lower consciousness, now what is that lower consciousness? You can just understand a lower mind. No, but what is that lower mind? Just always ready to go into anxiety, duality, conflict, obsession, past memories, reaction, long list. Did you get it? Yes, so that is why the second stage is done. Now we will go into the third stage. And I have been saying third stage is also a passive stage, that you can do the practice at any time, anywhere. Whether you are in your at workplace or you are at your home or in the kitchen. What it means, pay attention. You are looking at the breath. You explore the breath. Do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. The breath is going in and out. That is what is your exploration. Not only that, when the breath goes in, you feel the sensation of the breath inside the nose. When the breath comes out, you feel the sensation coming out of the nose. So you see what happens. You are in a state of being comfortable, being carefree. A sense of natural focus is there in the mind inside. And from inside the mind, you're looking at the breath. The breath is going in and out. Very good. And now every time the breath goes in, you drop Om Shanti. The breath comes out, you drop Om Shanti. Goes in Om Shanti, out Om Shanti. Not only that, whenever any thought comes, you superimpose. What do you superimpose? Om Shanti. So, for example, your mind says, I feel discomfort, Om Shanti. Mind reminds you of the past, Om Shanti. Mind says, I cannot sit for long, Om Shanti. Any thought that comes to you that wants to take you away from the practice, from the state, from the higher awareness, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. No, do nothing. Remain as you are for a while and experience the change. You know the stage 1 and the stage 3 are both passive stages. Passive means you're not doing anything, you are just bringing your awareness and attention of the mind. You're shifting your awareness. You are reacting, your mood is different, upset. So you simply shift your awareness and mood is gone. Mood swing is gone. Anxiety is gone. Reaction is gone. Fear is gone. Is it so easy? Yes, it is so easy. But why it is not happening for me? No, we have to become the higher seeker for that. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Raise both your palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Bring your hands down. It is better not to move because you continue to experience that state of awareness and attention, and then you're listening to the talk, it will go much deeper. It will have a faster pace of understanding. So last time what we understood, let me briefly give you an outline of what we have been discussing for the last 2 weeks. The first thing that we understood that the mind has a two flow. It moves in one flow is the Shreyas and the other flow is the Preyas. That flow of the Shreyas means what is right and good. It is done by a conscious thinking with a goal in the mind, and what is that goal is the self-discovery. But when we forget this goal, then the mind naturally moves on to the path of the Preyas. Preyas means what I like and what is pleasant. That is already ingrained in our mind all the time. Oh, I like this and I like that. I like this and I like that. And the mind moves into the world projecting peace and happiness where it is not. That is what we understood. Then we also understood, pay attention, you have to work, always remember, the mind is a receiving station. So that receiving station has two factors. You receive the stimuli from the world outside through the sense organs processed by the mind, and then you have a thought. And the second factor is that we also receive the inner stimuli in terms of the thought, emotions, feeling. Clear? Thought, feeling, biological drive, lot of stuff. Now comes that interpretation station. We also thought of it, we worked on it. So that interpretation means, what is the interpretation means in the mind? Mind attaches the meaning to the stimuli or whatever the thought enters or feeling enters into my mind. Interpretation. But that interpretation depends on many factors. It may be biological drive, it may be past experiences, it may be belief, it may be the wrong notions that we have, current motivation, expectations, emotional state. So these factors are influencing the interpretation of the receiving station, whatever we receive in the mind. And ultimately that results into I am happy or sad, I am stressed or frustrated. Oh, it is so simple. Yes, it is very simple, my friend. So once the interpretation is done, then comes the responding station. So we may react and we may respond. So reaction and the response are driven, if they are driven by the prayers, craving and the attachment, we experience the problem. If there is a reaction, it may be because of the biological drive, the past impressions, the habit, and lot of stuff is happening. So once we have already understood. So what is the overall message of our masters? Our masters says that when you are reacting, when you are angry, when you are agitated, you are not, or I would rather say in a different way, then we are led by the mind. We are dictated by the mind. So if every interpretation is done by the Shreyas, what is right and good, biological drive, hunger is there, you are hungry. Now it is purely the drive, it has an element of the prayers. So you sit up hurriedly, you start jumping into the kitchen and you want to grab everything. Have you seen that those people start grabbing the food so fast? They have yet to swallow the first bite and they put the second bite into their mouth. That is the prayers. You have to recognize the movement of the prayers and the shreyas. In the second option, that you are hungry, you recognize and you recall the shreyas. Okay, hunger to eat the food is important, necessary for a physical survival. And you say, oh, let me calmly go to the kitchen. Let me see what food is available. Let me see whether this food is good for me. Every moment you are conscious, making a right choice. That is what the Shreyas is. What happens to you? You can think of it. You can very well dream of that state of the calmness. So our past experiences shape the mental conditioning, expectations, biases. Am I clear? Say I'm clear. No, I'm not clear, but you have to be clear. So whatever the garbage is already present in the mind, those factors which I renamed as the factors, conditioning, biological drive, past impressions. Someone hurt you last year and you carry forward those impressions in your mind, and that person comes in front of you. So they are influencing your response. And that is the path of the prayers. I became unconscious and habitual. I did not rise in what I have to do with the other guy who did something last year. Why I have to carry those impressions? Who is going to help you, the Shreyas? What will help you understanding, receiving, interpretation, factors, and the responding station? Are you getting it? The mind works and acts so fast. It loses awareness, and we have all kinds of problem, action, or reaction, anxiety, duality, reaction, etc., etc. But most of the time we have a neutral response, and we lose awareness of that. What do you mean by neutral response? I always have a lot of thoughts in my mind. No. You wake up in the morning. You are aware of the sunlight, the room, neutral response. You go to the kitchen, neutral response. You prepare a cup of tea, neutral response. You are walking, neutral response. Do you see that? 80% of the time we have a neutral response, but we are not aware of it. And what we are aware of in the mind is cooking the story inside. And when the mind is cooking the story, then it is ready to forward it to the movement of the prayers. Did you understand movement of the prayers? And movement of the prayers is filled with the biological drives, the past experiences, the duality and the conflict. What happens then? So we can train and educate our mind. We can train and educate our mind to move continuously to follow the Shreyas, or we can educate the mind to have a pause before reacting. We should have a pause before responding. In that moment of the pause, we check. Mind, are you in the mode of the Shreyas? Done. Even, you are shouting in the movement of the Shreyas. It works. No, you are just going opposite. No. You cry out of excitement of the joy. Is it? So what happens, when I said you want to get the things done from the others who is not listening to you, you shout as an acting. You act. Play a role. You don't get angry inside. Why? Because that pause is there, and in that pause you have introduced the Shreyas. How dare anxiety, reaction can come to you? Are you understanding? We are going deeper. You are a seeker. Not only listening and understanding, but applying in your daily life will help you change your behavior and attitude, and the practice makes it permanent. Practice of meditation. That is, meditation builds your awareness and self-control over these impulses. We have to do the regular practice. Consistent, regular practice helps you change. How long? Until the innate human cognitive biases that skew the mind's interpretation of the stimuli. What did I say? Make it simple. Make it simple in a way that we have many biases in our mind since our birth, and as we grew older. And those biases helps us to explain a particular event, but these biases creates a wrong conclusion. I had just an event, these two women who are in the same profession I am, they have their biases against each other, and they use me. They use me to create a conflict, to show their ego against each other. No, sir told me that. Now see that. And I recognize that. I was very tough on the person who created this confirmation bias. But then what to do with the other women? She was totally upset. She doesn't want to talk. So I wrote to her, if she talks to me, it's okay. Otherwise, doesn't talk to me, that is also okay. You see, you live not with the confirmation biases that cause the mind to give wrong interpretation. And the halo effect causes the overall impression of something, and then it causes the reaction. That is what's happening in our relationship. There is nothing in our relationship that can cause reaction, anger, and anxiety, duality, and a conflict. You go to your son or daughter, hardly matters. And it is happening because of these confirmation biases. But remember, the confirmation biases has one important factor. That is the ego. Now, how does the ego affect the mind's interpretation to reinforce a positive self-image? That you can ask the question. The ego tends to take credit for success and explain away the failures in a way that protect the self-image. So it gives the interpretation of an event in a self-serving ways. We follow the self-serving ways, and it causes a lot of harm. That is what happens to almost everyone in the modern life. So what is the way? Follow the path of the Shreyas, understand receiving interpretation factors in the responding station, introduce the Shreyas, and live your life in peace and happiness. Can the Eastern wisdom help us become more aware of the... Yes. So what happens in that awareness? In that awareness, when you're doing practice, you're listening to me, you are absorbing these principles, you have created a space between the past impression, the confirmation biases, the ego, and the response. So what is going to happen? It pushes you to follow the path of the Shreyas, not the prayers. You are free. Now how long it takes? It doesn't take any time. It is just a matter of awareness, a fraction of a millisecond. Meditation develops that. That is what is known as the witness consciousness. The ability to observe the thought factors which I explained, includes the biological drive, habit, addiction, emotions, and attachment. Creating a space between the two. This allows you more conscious choice, and you can dissolve, you can burn the anxiety, duality, and a conflict in the fire of awareness, my friends. How can desires and craving lead to addictive behavior and habitual reaction? That is what we have understood last time. question is how desire simply means that I'm seeking something other than me in the world, projecting peace and happiness. So when you are not desiring peace and happiness from anything, the mind is not running outside. It does not have a craving, it does not have an expectation. It does not work in compulsion. Now, have you heard about what is OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder? Everyone is suffering from that because of the ego. I keep on thinking, look at this guy, look at this guy. He has been treating me so well, but today, he even didn't wish me. I'm cooking the story myself. Is it not compulsion? We compulsively react to anything associated with satisfying the craving. Get rid of it. How? I told you. Shreyas, receiving, interpretation, factor, responding. Desires. So what happens to the mind on the other side, the positive side? You are committed for learning, self-improvement, contributing to the others. You are ready for a spiritual growth that evolves you. One guy asked me what to do when the mind creates a mess in my life. You already understand who created the mess. And before it is ready to manifest that mess, you have taken a corrective measure because of the space between the stimuli, between the factor and the response in that is gone. Other guy was asked me that how you balance the reactive response. You don't balance the reactive response, you burn it, you dissolve it. How? You are aware. You live in higher awareness. You are not carried away by any biases, an ego, expectation. So you are already free. Why to balance your reactive responses? But on the other side, if we go a little deeper into this question, this reactive responses means unfulfilled desire, unfulfilled expectation. Reactive responses also means that my ego is looking for a boost in this situation. So what the Shreyas does, it's a value-based response. Sometimes we get so much irritated of a behavior of a particular person which we don't like. So what you don't like, it is an ego, it is an expectation. Ego says, I expected this guy to behave like this, but what a crazy way he's behaving. That is also the biases we have. Enjoy that. Enjoy if one is behaving the way they want to behave. That is also one way you recognize. That is also one way the mind is reacting and expecting something from the world outside. So you are not at all hurting yourself. And that is another way to improve our responses. What is this entire principle? This is what the Eastern wisdom does. And when we do the practice, first thing is understanding, clarity, conviction in your intellect, and then we do the practice. So what happens? We rise in awareness. That is what we did today in our meditation. So we have a thoughtful response. My master used to say before, during, and after. Every action, check. You are in peace and calm. You are in a higher level of awareness. I'm giving a practical, pragmatic approach. Before performing an action, any action, even going to the washroom, going to the kitchen, leave aside the talking to someone, and so the moment the person comes in front of you, you are in peace. He says you something and you communicate in peace, and he left you, you are in peace. So he left you, he came to you, he talked to you. Inner state is always in peace. How to do it? I have already given an answer to it, So yes, you can ask me. If your mind is asking, I will definitely explain to you in different ways. So what happens in that state? So you recognize that there is some presence inside which is totally unaffected, not dictated, not obsessed with anything happening outside. That is your real self. That is your real self. And what is your false self? We have been treating the false self in meditation and in the talk that I gave to you. That is the meaning. The seeker wants self-fulfillment. It does not want desire fulfillment. Did you understand that? Now you are very clear. Desire fulfillment relies on the factors that I explained to you. It may be biological drive, it may be confirmation biases, it may be lot of expectations, past memories, and the self-fulfillment. You have left everything. You are looking for the self. You are looking for the self. You are looking for the self. To summarize in one phrase, if you remember, desire fulfillment, self-fulfillment. No fulfillment of changing nature connected to the world can bring you permanent peace. Happiness cannot awaken you. So what happens in desire fulfillment? The mind keeps on focus on those factors which you have lived in the past, by which you got lot of stress, problem, and suffering, and still it wants to repeat itself. It knows that the expectation creates a suffering, and still you go on for your mind runs after the expectation. Can provide the momentary happiness, but may not lead you to the long-term happiness. It depends on the external factors, my friend. So can I not recognize if it depends on the external factors? Mind is craving and have an obsession, has an expectation. This is where the praise movement is. And what about the self-fulfillment? Mind naturally moves inside. It wants to rise in awareness so that no anxiety in the reaction can ever touch him or her. You evolve, you rise in awareness. You get rid of those factors which causes the reaction. You instantly recognize so that you know to be in peace before, during, and after the action is done. It leads to a deeper, more lasting happiness and a sense of purpose. It comes from within. It doesn't come from outside. You have to compare and contemplate and reflect which one is worthy of applying in life. Is desire fulfillment or the self-fulfillment? The self-fulfilled man does not rely on external validation, one, does not rely on external stimuli, two, does not rely on anything outside, on any event, situation, condition. Oh, somebody did not. You see that? He never wished me my birthday today. Then what? Why don't you celebrate your birthday on your own? Enjoy that state, that I'm born as a human being and let me evolve myself. Or you continue to wait for someone to wish your birthday. It changes your behavior and attitude. A sense of achievement is there. Creates meaning that endures in spite of changing your consciousness, my friend. It enables one to have a positive impact on others. You have a positive impact on others naturally. You are not seeking it. You're not expecting it. You don't want to create an impact, but it happens. Why? Because you are living a life of contentment and the self-acceptance. Desire for self-fulfillment is a conscious desire. Let me create a question. Why a conscious desire is required? And what is that conscious desire? Is a self-fulfillment. Or you can say, I have a conscious desire to seek peace and happiness from inside me. How? To discover the real self. And that brings an end to the suffering. That brings an end to all the kinds of delusion. Now, the desire fulfillment, that idea of the desire fulfillment, cannot mislead your mind. What happens if it misleads my mind? Mind starts leading my life. You answer the question, what should we do in life? Shreyas, understanding, receiving, interpretation, factor, response. But why it did not happen in one day? Because the prayers has been since our birth and also from the last birth. We have accumulated trillions of the impressions in our life. Even you said, look at this crazy guy. You have created millions of impressions pertaining to the thought, feeling, and emotions. What to talk when you really became angry and upset. And there is a reservoir of these impressions located in the mind. We need to remove it. Did you understand conscious choice? Trillions of the desires. So trillions of the desires for the desire fulfillment, we did it. And that is stored the reservoir of impressions, past impressions. They create the factors, and any event takes place from outside, and now those impressions are ready to react, and then we blame others that I'm into anxiety, duality, and conflict. So keep smiling. Why you keep smiling? Because then you are laughing at the folly of the fault of the mind, your own mind. It is always better to laugh at the fault of your mind, not to create further impression, but to live a life of peace and happiness. Thank you, my friend.